Pollination is the process seeded plants use to transfer their male gametes to their female gametes, leading to fertilization and the production of new seeds. Pollination can occur with the help of wind, insects, or other animals. Wind pollination. Wind-pollinated plants are small and inconspicuous and therefore are not brightly coloured. The flowers are often arranged in large groups. Large feathery stigma is able to catch pollen. An example of Australian flora that is wind-pollinated is wattle. The pollen is produced in much larger quantities, so the chances of landing on stigma of another flower are higher. Insect pollination. This is a form of pollination whereby pollen is distributed by insects. An example of Australian flora is the orchid. The orchid flowers and matures during the wasp breeding season. It releases a scent similar to female wasps, so as the male chooses to mate, pollen rubs off. Bird pollination. This is a form of pollination whereby pollen is transferred by birds. An example of Australian flora is the bottlebrush. The spectacular bright red flowers attract the birds. The birds visit flowers for nectar. The pollen attaches to their bodies and is spread from flower to flower. Seed dispersal is the spreading of seeds away from the parent plant. Wind. Some seeds are aerodynamically designed to be blown long distances by the wind. They are usually lighter and smaller, making them easy for the wind to carry. They are also produced in large numbers, maximising the probability that some will reach suitable sites. An Australian example is feather speargrass. The seeds are attached to fine hairs which float in the breeze and can be carried hundreds of kilometres. Animal. Seeds may possess hooks or barbs which enable them to cling or stick to the fur or feathers of animals, so they can be carried long distances before they fall to the ground. An Australian example is birdlime tree. Some fruits may be eaten and the seeds then carried in the gut and deposited in feces in a new area. An Australian example is the nightshade bush. Fire. Some plants store their seeds until the fire destroys the branch or entire plant. This allows the capsule to open, releasing the seed for dispersal. This provides a substantial advantage to the seeds as the fire clears land areas and allows for recolonisation of new plants. Australian examples include eucalypts, banksias and acacias. Asexual reproduction is the making of a new individual without the use of sex cells or gametes. Only one parent cell is required for the mitotic cell division to occur. Regeneration. In regeneration, a piece of a parent that is detached can grow and develop into an entirely new individual. An example of Australian flora is echinoderms. Budding. Budding is a more unusual form of asexual reproduction seen in plants. A new individual is developed as an outgrowth of a parent plant. An example of Australian flora is calico. Along the leaf margins, it produces buds which are able to break off and form new plants, growing eventually to adult size. Fragmentation. In this type of sexual reproduction, the body of the parent breaks into separate fragments, each able to produce an offspring. An example of Australian flora is planarians.